What's up, A to Z Sports here live on this Wednesday. We know when and who the Titans are playing in London this upcoming season as the NFL announced the entire international schedule for the 2023 season this morning on a Wednesday, May 10th. So we're excited to talk about who the Titans are playing, which is the Baltimore Ravens. Right there, as you see on the graphic below here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, the Titans hosting the Ravens as the Titans are the designated home team in London this upcoming season. So we'll dive into what we feel about this. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Zach back on the show today. Sam and I talked yesterday, tried to predict who we thought the Titans would play in London, and Sam and I were both wrong. So we'll kind of revisit that situation and talk about the ultimate pick for the NFL and the Titans in London being Baltimore. And then what does this mean about how the league feels about the Tennessee Titans and what else they did with the international schedule? So we have a lot to talk about. Do you love it or hate it? How does the NFL feel about the Tennessee Titans? What do they think about this franchise? And then it is a Wednesday, which means we always throw shade at the end of the show. So Zach, welcome in. Let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah, got a lot to get to today, and Jimbo's throwing shade on the NBA last night, and we'll talk about placing bets on BetMGM throughout the course of the show. So get your shade ready for the end of today's show. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, so we got you covered there. We'll tweet out segment by segment, link by link on our Twitter at A to Z Sports. Follow us at ATOZ Sports. That would help you out, help us out, and we got great content going out, whether it's minicamp OTAs. We're about to get into rookie minicamp, so there's a lot going on. If you're a Titans fan, keep it locked in at A to Z Sports on Twitter. Give us a follow there, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We sometimes put out exclusive interviews, whether it's press conference or locker room on our YouTube channel, and you need to go there and subscribe. They could be YouTube shorts. They could be full-length video, could be live streams like this morning. So subscribe if you have not already. We're trying to climb to 15,000. We're right around 13 or so. So we need a couple more thousand to get to 15. We know we can do it. And hit that subscribe button. If you've already hit the subscribe button, this is what you need to do. You need to like this particular show because this puts it out in front of more like-minded individuals, which are Titans fans. That's what we want. So subscribe if you have not already. If you have, then like this show. If you're on Facebook, what's going on? Facebookers, bottom left corner of your screen, share now to public. Sharing is caring, and caring is sharing on this show. As we say, more people are going to be piling in over the next 5 to 10 minutes. And as you guys do, share the show. I just got done sharing the show on my Facebook. You can share the show. We need to pop up in your news feed. And let's get this party started on a Wednesday.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us all over social media as we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter timeline at A to Z Sports, and also hit us up on Instagram for more great Titans content, and also on TikTok as well. But we got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help out all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process by seeing them in Lebanon or at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better health coverage with Farm Bureau Health Plans at fbhp.com/ATOZ. The Aura app, where you can stay safe online. Use our link aura.com/ATOZ for a 2-week free trial with the Aura app. And also Krebs Kubota, an elite Kubota dealer with locations in Columbia, Franklin, and Murfreesboro. You can check them out for all your equipment needs at KrebsKubota.com. So I see our guy Ian is excited in the chat as he has been looking for this for a long time. Ian is our buddy over there across the pond in Scotland, and the Titans officially going to London this upcoming season. And we've known this for a while, and we officially find out this morning as the NFL announces all the international games, and the Baltimore Ravens and newly signed and extended quarterback Lamar Jackson will face the Tennessee Titans in London. This is October 15th, which is week 6, 8:30 a.m. Central Time at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium there in London. So the Titans-Ravens rivalry goes long distance here this in this iteration. Zach, what's your initial thoughts on the announcement this morning from the NFL?
Well, look, the NFL has been telling us what they want to do in this league for years and years, and they're just expanding it. Everybody is going to go to London. The Titans have been before when they played the Chargers some years ago. They were going to go because they basically kind of took a hiatus in between. The Jags, as we'll kind of talk about, they are consistent because of the ties to Shad Khan, their owner, and they're in Germany. They're in Mexico. Like, this is an international sport, and that's why A to Z Sports has honestly hitched its wagon to the NFL, because it is going global. It is as close to international soccer of a popularity standpoint as you can get to, and it's just growing. Even Roger Goodell last year, when he was interviewed in London because they do a PR tour, was like, look, you could have a UK division, and time is just going to keep going on. If you looked at the schedule and what they're doing this year, they're adding even more games. They are adding even more games on Christmas Day. They are stealing the NBA's thunder. That's like their one day. And the NFL comes in and says, we don't give a damn. Black Friday, your wife and your daughter and your sister want to go shop. Well, you're going to be watching football. Jets, Dolphins, saddle up, partner. So that's what the NFL does. And I'm not surprised with the number of games. And for the Titans, they're due. And so, we knew that they were going to have a home game that was going to be in London this year. Mm-hmm. It was just, who are they going to face? And I would say this, I think when they first started, they dipped their toe. They didn't have very good matchups, right? They were blowouts, right? I kind of remember the international games when they first started this as like, those are early morning games. They're not very good. You don't have to wake up for them. It's more about the in-stadium experience for the people of the United Kingdom and the place that it's at. Mm-hmm. Now they're starting to change, though. Now they're starting to really put some, I think, good matchups together. The Jags and the Bills, that's a good matchup this year. That's not going to be played on American soil. So I think that's the evolution of what this NFL football is becoming.
Yeah, and so Kenneth asks, is this confirmed? Yes, the NFL did announce the international schedule this season, so that includes the Titans are hosting the Baltimore Ravens in Week 6, October 15th. That kickoff is at 8:30 Central Time. And then the entirety, Zach, schedule of this season for the international games it starts in Week 4, Falcons and Jags, and the Jags are staying in back-to-back weeks to go and play the Bills in Week 4, then Week 5, the Titans and Ravens in Week 6, and then I believe Week 8, Dolphins, Chiefs, and Week 10, Colts, Patriots, with the last two there being in Germany. So yeah, I mean, I think you're right. They were dipping their toe in it. They were playing some games that had 10-point spreads, and now they're sending playoff matchups and playoff teams over there with league MVPs and Derrick Henry and the Patriots and Colts that are longtime big brands and having those games go overseas. But I thought about, and I said this yesterday, Zach, that as Sam and I were going through the opponents, our logic was that I thought the Titans would play the Panthers or the Seahawks overseas because the Titans don't really have a lot of great home opponents this season. And so I have a feeling, I know how Amy Adams Strunk and the Titans feel about this game, but I do want to ask everybody in the chat this question about the Titans and Ravens, right? So Titans, Ravens, they are the matchup in London this upcoming season. Do you love it or do you hate it? Do you love it or do you hate it that the fact that the Titans-Ravens game is going to be played in London instead of Nashville, Tennessee? Because it was one of the Titans' home games and home opponents. So do you love it or hate it that the Titans are going to be playing the Ravens in London instead of playing the Baltimore Ravens in Nashville. We'll get to your answers here shortly. But first, I'm going to tell you guys all about the Aura app. Zach's on board. I'm on board. And we are saving our lives from spammers and telemarketers and robocalls because we signed up with the Aura app. And when I signed up with the Aura app, Aura found that 30 different data brokers had my information. And within 2 weeks, they removed my info from 29 of those 30. And those data brokers are profiting off of selling my info to the junk mail and telemarketing lists that bother you constantly when you get the possible spam calls nonstop. I'm not getting those anymore because of the Aura app. And Aura has almost every internet safety tool you'll ever need inside of that one app: a VPN, password manager, real-time credit and identity theft monitoring, internet parental controls, and more. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online. And if you sign up with our link today, that's aura.com/ATOZ, aura.com/ATOZ. That means you will get a 2-week free trial, and 2 weeks is plenty of time for data brokers to get out of your lives. So aura.com/ATOZ for a 2-week free trial. Make sure you hit that link right there, aura.com/ATOZ.
A to Z Sports, we are also powered by BetMGM, and you'll hear a lot about BetMGM if you listen to A to Z Sports in the morning. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports, and that bonus code is hooking you up because you can get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses for new users. So if you're a new user, you have not signed up, use that bonus code and download the app today.
All right, so do you love it or hate it that the Titans are playing the Ravens in London instead of in Nashville, as the Titans had 9 home games because of the 17-game schedule? So they still have 8 games in the regular season in Nissan Stadium, but they lose the 9th by going to London and playing Baltimore in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So do you love it or hate it, the Ravens playing in London instead of Nashville? Zach, I'll send you to the chat on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch to get the opinions of the people.
Gibo hates it. You've got Lot loving it, Darren hating it right there. Nate says he hates it. Stefan hates it. Demario loves it. Our guy Dodson hates it. Excuse me. Marvin loves it. Mike hates it. Jimbo, I don't care. Well, I don't care that
Not
you
an
don't
answer.
care. I don't care that you don't care, Jimbo. Eric says hates it. Meh from Denise. Loves it from Marvin. Colin says loves it. Tighten Up says loves it. Rooney says hates it. Eddie says hates it. Justin likes it. Our girl Liz says not my favorite. Not a fan of it from Scott.
Liz is not a person of hate, though. So Liz saying not my favorite means she doesn't like it. Hate
there you
it.
go.
Hate
Paulie
it,
D
it.
says hates it. Eric hates it. Pistol Ramsey hates it. So does Jay. Loves it from Ken. America doesn't need to witness the Titans getting spanked, which is pretty funny. It's okay from Ron. Some I don't cares. Lewis says hates it. Nick loves it whenever. Right, Raven down. Blake says he hates it. And Kenneth just says, I don't hate it. I just rather it be in Nashville. What do you think about this matchup? Because I think the chat kind of, I think overall probably hates it more. But, you know, Michael brings up loves it. Would have been too expensive to go in person. Would probably have more Titans fans if it was at Nissan. That's true. But it also gives you the benefit of possibly taking a trip. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. And Jimbo does come back and says, I just don't hate it or love it. And by the way, 50 Cent coming to Nashville in late July. So I'm intrigued in that. But so, I think the Titans hate this. Honestly, the Tennessee Titans have.
What do you?
I hate it. I hate this too. Like, the Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans are now a 20+ year rivalry. And I kind of get it, but I hate it. This game needs to be in Nashville, Tennessee. Lamar Jackson needs to come back to Nashville, a place where he's won a playoff game. He doesn't have many playoff wins in his career, but he's got a playoff win in Nashville in Nissan Stadium. This game needs to be in Nashville, Tennessee. And if you look at the Titans' opponents that we showed yesterday, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Houston, LA Chargers, Seattle Seahawks, Indianapolis Colts, Carolina Panthers, Jacksonville Jaguars, Atlanta Falcons. The first 2 logos on that home graphic are the only good home teams that the Titans have, home games the Titans have coming to Nashville. The Chargers aren't a draw. The Seahawks are so far away. The Colts, the Texans, and the Jags, you play them at home every year. The Carolina Panthers are a small market, and maybe you get Alabama fans excited for Bryce Young. And the Atlanta Falcons they care more about their soccer team than they do their football team in Atlanta. So,
are those some possible wins, though? I know you're looking at them, but like, look at the teams that are coming. Like, when you go to a Titans home game, you want to see them win.
Sure, but I also think you want to see the Tennessee Titans play against you want to see juicy matchups. You want to see and have emotion for those teams. And if you take away the Baltimore Ravens, like the emotional attachment and the emotional feeling that the Titans fan base has for these teams, obviously the division opponents, you have that. But the Ravens is building, right? I'm sorry, the Bengals emotion is building because of the playoff game. The Ravens, you hate them. And so now you don't get to go hate them in person. You have to, decide if you think a trip to London is in the budget and make some sacrifices and see what that looks like. Or you say, well, I thought I might get a Ravens game in Nashville with my season ticket package that I've signed up for, my single game tickets. And now I'm going to have to do that on my couch. I can't hate the Ratbirds in person like I wanted to do when the opponents initially came out.
Would you pay all that money to go to London to watch the Titans play the Arthur Smith-led Falcons?
Here's my opinion.
Thing.
Here's my opinion. If you're a Titans fan and you have any interest in going to London, the opponent shouldn't really matter.
Oh, no, it absolutely should. That is the tipping point, Austin.
No,
that's where you're wrong. That is a tipping point to say, wow, we've always wanted to go to London. It's a unique place. I've been to London. It is a cool place. And that is a tipping point, I believe, in some fans' eyes to make the trip. But I'm not going to be tipped over the edge if they're playing the Atlanta Falcons or even the Houston Texans. This is a great matchup, and I love this. I actually think that the NFL has finally figured out and has come around that these games are valuable. You are creating really good fans across the pond, as they say. And I think you're influencing fan bases in America to actually make that trip. I know a handful of people that have gone over to London. They did that for the Chargers game because it was a unique experience. And now it's been enough time that this makes perfect sense. So I love this. I think that you're actually going to see a good game, and now what is this also going to do? You're going to have to get up bright and early and watch morning football. That's more football on these eyeballs in the NFL spectrum of their marketing. It makes a lot of sense. You're less likely last year to watch the Falcons and the Dolphins early morning or whatever the game was than you are Titans Ravens in October. That's a meaningful game. And so I think this is a benefit, and you're creating, this is what I think goes unnoticed because you can't see it. You could create some Titans fans in the United Kingdom.
Oh yeah. Again,
more Ians. We need more Ians.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
that's a positive. All of the things that I've listed are positive. That's why I love this. Oh, yeah, does it take away from a home? It was going to take away from a home game anyway.
Yeah,
and plus, you want to watch the Titans win. They may lose that game. So I think this is a positive on all fronts. It's creating more Titans fans all over the globe. It's in a new stadium. This is, I think, also exciting, right? Mm-hmm. That they didn't play last time.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
So this is a great experience. I love this.
All right. So, Frederick says, as a French Titans fan, I am love it. I love it, Frederick. Okay. So you bring up a compelling follow-up question, I think, that I wasn't thinking about this before the show started. And I want to get the chat involved because the Titans fans are in the chat, right? They're not me and you. Does the opponent matter if you are wanting to go to London? I think, Zach, you brought it up. I think we're on opposite sides of this. Does the Titans opponent matter if you are thinking about traveling?
If you're on the cusp.
Yes. If you're on the fence, does the opponent matter?
Would you rather watch Titans Ravens or Titans Falcons?
All right, so that's the new question. So does the opponent matter in your thoughts on making a trip to London. Zach, before we get to the chat's answers that are piling in here, tell us all about Wilson County Hyundai.
Yeah, Wilson County Hyundai is where you need to go to get your new ride. They've got it all. They've got your perfect make and model. It's right around the corner. A quick trip down I-40 exit 236. It's the Palisade. It's the full-size SUV, all the bells and whistles. You've got the four-door sedan like the Sonata, the Tucson, the Santa Fe. Again, their fleet of vehicles is unmatched. And Wilson County Hyundai is family-owned and operated. That means you're going to get a true great deal. Mention that you listen to A to Z Sports, and Painbone and his team will take you around Lebanon. You can test drive any car that they have on the lot, and they'll give you a good deal. Visit wilsoncountyhyundai.com and take a look at their inventory.
All right, it is Wednesday, so BetMGM means Call Your Shot Wednesday, which is pretty simple. So log into your BetMGM app, opt into the Call Your Shot Wednesday feature, and place a $25 home run prop on any baseball game today, and you instantly get $10 in bonus bets, regardless of that home run prop. So check that out with your Call Your Shot Wednesday feature, a $25 MLB home run prop. Get you a $10 bet instantly in bonus bets right there with BetMGM. So our follow-up question, as the Titans are hosting the Baltimore Ravens in London, does the opponent matter if you're wanting to go see the Titans play in London? Zach, what are the comments saying here? Because we're on opposite sides.
You go to the chat.
All right.
This is your question.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was working on other things within the show here as I was getting things set up. So scrolling to the top of the chat, I'm trying to find that. Let's see. Jabu says yes. MF Loco says yes. Blake says, if I went to London, it wouldn't be for a game. But, there's a lot of stuff to see in London, right? John says no. Reginald says no. Titanic says yes, it does. Matt says no, it's a holiday. Jay Boston says no. Nika says yes. Dylan says no. Josh says no. Chris says opponent doesn't matter. Deshaun says opponent doesn't matter. DeMario says no. Jay says no, it doesn't. Michael, no. Eddie, absolutely. William, Darren, Will, all knows. Lewis says it absolutely does matter. Danny with a no, a string of no's from
Danny said yes, but
I'm sorry, Dan, I'm reading more.
I know.
Sateo says nah. Jared says nope, never going to leave the USA. It looks like, based off of just scanning through, the majority says no, the opponent doesn't matter. And that's my opinion. Because if you were interested to go see the Titans play in London, then you're going to go see the Titans play in London, regardless of who the team is that they're playing, because you want to go see them and have the overall experience. And if it happens once every 5 years, then that's your window of opportunity to go see them. If they're playing the Ravens, the Panthers, the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Colts, the Jags, the Bengals, the whoever the hell, that you're going to go see the Titans and your team play in a unique spot. So that's where I think the NFL did the Titans dirty with this, is because Titans fans from outside of the Nashville, Middle Tennessee area are more likely, if you're in Southern Kentucky, Northern Alabama, or surrounding Titans market, and you're saying, I want to go to a Titans game, and you circle the Ravens, I'm going to drive to Nashville for a few hours to go see the Ravens Titans in Nashville. That makes a lot of sense. Whether if you're saying, I want to go see the Titans play in London, you're going to go regardless of who they're playing.
Well, so I'm curious, and one of the reasons why I formed the opinion, look, the chat said what the chat said, so I cannot argue that. I think the NFL is telling us otherwise. Their data shows different. And that, I think, is why I have my opinion in the way that I do is their data tells us that it does matter, because they wouldn't be doing this and we have seen honestly, a fundamental change in the NFL in these matchups over the last couple of years. And so that's where it's telling me their data shows that it does matter. It does influence. Here's the other thing that I do think is a caveat to this conversation. The Titans have had a big gap from when they first went to London to now. Other teams have gone multiple times in between that time. So I do think that the Titans are probably a unique situation. I don't know the London schedule for every single team over the last 10 years, but they've only been once before.
Right. I'm looking up things.
The Jags go every year, you feel like, right?
Yeah.
I know the
yes,
Bucks
that's
have
part of the
played in
deal.
there multiple times because I watched those games. The Dolphins, I feel like the Packers for the first time, the Packers and the Giants went for the first time last year because they played each other. I remember that. But there are a lot of lower market teams that have been going. Austin, the NFL is telling us that they're changing that. It's no longer just going to be lower market teams. You're going to peg good matchups, whether you're a big or a small market.
I'm struggling to find on a quick search of like the amount of games played overseas by teams. But yes,
I don't know.
Again, I think it depends on what the NFL is looking at is different from what we're asking the Titans fan. Like the Titans fan, does the opponent matter if you want to go see the Titans play in London? I don't think matters. To the NFL, okay, the NFL is saying that we're sending the Titans to London. It is their turn. It is their time to go, their turn. Who can we match up the Titans with in London to make for the best product for the biggest audience? Not the Titans audience, but the biggest audience. That's how the NFL is viewing it, not how we are viewing it.
I got two things. First, here's another reason why you should love it. John Harbaugh hates going to London. The last time they went to London, they got blown out by the Jags 44-7. And he basically had got a quote saying somebody else can have that job of going to London. So I think that's another reason why you should love it is John Harbaugh hates it. Here, I think brings up the other question, which is I think we're probably too close to the situation, and the NFL views the Titans as not a good football team. So are we looking into the eyes of this is a good matchup, but the NFL is looking into the eyes of, well, the Titans are not very good, and the Ravens, Zay Flowers, Andrews, Lamar, defense, the Ravens they have more to sell, right? Mm-hmm. Because they have the star quarterback. I actually think that the NFL's perception is that this isn't a great matchup.
Oh, I mean, I don't disagree. We'll get to that here later on, but back to the Harbaugh thing. I don't think if you ask any NFL coach, no NFL coach wants to go play in London. There's too much stuff to deal with on logistics and flying and timelines and practice.
Years, I don't think that they mind. But
you can ask every NFL coach. I honestly,
John Harbaugh had that quote after he got his ass kicked. So,
but again, like
if they would have won 44-7, I bet you would have been like, London's not that bad.
Yeah, but again, like nobody wants that.
There is that.
NFL coaches and football coaches in general hate when there's just extra stuff they have to deal with during a game week, right? And they know that London is just a bunch of extra stuff you got to deal with on making sure that guys aren't jet lagged and they go to sleep at the right time so they can perform, and where are they going to practice and how they're going to get there. All that stuff they don't want to do. And so nobody likes it from that standpoint. But the Titans are not an attractive team this year. I think we all know that they're not. And so did the NFL push them and set them up with an attractive team to make the game better overall? Then yeah, I think that can be the case.
So it goes against what you guys were talking about yesterday. Again, I think that we're too close to the situation. You guys are predicting, and this is what you told me this morning on the pre-show conversation is Panthers, Seahawks. The NFL is not going to put two really bad teams together anymore. They're at least going to do a poll, and Geno Smith is less than Lamar Jackson, right? So Lamar is the pull.
Right.
Hell, we don't even know if he'll be playing.
My prediction, right, week 6 is plenty of time for Lamar Jackson to get hurt. Although he hasn't gotten really hurt until like week 11 or 12 in the past couple of years. But my thought on Titans-Panthers, on why I thought that could be the case, is because it's an outside the conference matchup. It doesn't have a ton of weight on it. But you got Bryce Young, the number 1 overall pick, former Heisman Trophy winner as a rookie. That's an attraction. And then you've got Derrick Henry, a Heisman Trophy winner from Alabama.
The starter. Huh? They've said that Bryce Young's not the starter.
Yeah, I don't buy that. That's just
I
lip
know you don't
service.
buy it, but
I mean, yeah,
that's
Mike
probably
Vrabel
why they
also
didn't do
said
it.
Mike Vrabel said that Will Levis is starting third string. Like, sure, that's what all coaches say, that yeah, the first round pick quarterback is not the starter until he earns being the starter. So
But
I don't
why
buy
would
that
you?
at all.
But in the NFL's mind, why would you even mess with that then? Because they could slow roll him. They could by maybe week 7's his first start. Who
No,
knows?
I mean,
But why would you wouldn't set yourself up for that? That's why the Panthers wouldn't be in my spectrum to predict. Look, it's a shot in the dark. So there's no criticizing whether you got it wrong or right. I'm just saying that the trend is better matchups. And the Titans Ravens is a good matchup. It's just the NFL views the two teams very differently.
Right. So let's get to that question and ask everybody this follow-up with the chat today. How do you think in the chat the NFL views the Tennessee Titans as a whole? How do you think the NFL views the Tennessee Titans franchise as a whole right now? Because the title of today's show is the Titans London game is already proving how the NFL feels about the state of this team. So we'll get to your comments. How does the NFL view the Tennessee Titans right now? But first, I'm going to tell you guys, I'll be viewing with my two eyes some Kubota equipment at Krebs Kubota this afternoon when I head out to Murfreesboro to go see our guys, Jamie and Matt at Krebs Kubota at their Murfreesboro location. Going to hang out with them today and continue to learn more about what Krebs Kubota has to offer, as they are an elite Kubota dealer with locations in Columbia, Franklin, and the Murfreesboro one that I'll be at today. So you can check them out at KrebsKubota.com. They sell, service, and supply parts for the best equipment in the industry, and they have all of that equipment in stock with all 3 locations right now. So you don't have to really wait for them to go get something in for you. They've got it right there. Krebs Kubota believes in customer satisfaction and is rooted in an outstanding parts and service department. It is their goal to have the best parts and service in the entire industry, which stands behind the best equipment in the industry. So check them out. Again, Columbia, Franklin, Murfreesboro, or at KrebsKubota.com.
Download the BetMGM app. They power this morning show. They can power your pocketbook if you win some bets. I won a couple of bets last night, so it wasn't a huge night. I do thank Kevin Durant for scoring 25 points. I appreciate that, and I didn't think he was going to get there because I thought they were going to pull the starters at the end of the game because of that blowout, but he did, and I won that bet. So you can win too with ATOZ Sports as your bonus code. Download the BetMGM app today.
All right, here live on this Wednesday, talking about the Titans London game against the Ravens in week 6. That's October 15th, 8:30 a.m. Central for the local kickoff, but in London, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium there. So our question right now, how do you think the NFL views the Tennessee Titans as a whole with this organization? Danny,
I think real quick, I think
yeah.
the best part about this is we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
The answer will be, we just wait, 48 hours. We'll know exactly how the NFL views the Titans. That's why I think this is the perfect time to ask this question.
For sure. Danny says, Jimbo says they look at the AFC South as a whole as weak. Robert says Derrick Henry brings viewers. Ronnie says a mediocre team at best. Steven just goes with triple trash can emojis. Guy on Facebook says they don't care about the Titans. Mr. Jones says they hate the Titans. That's been obvious. Liz just says they don't view the Titans at all.
There's a difference, right? One is saying that they hate them. The other one, there's a difference of they're
not worth hating, right?
Right.
Yeah. Jared says second-class citizens, an afterthought. Sateo says a joke. Jeff says a mid-tier team. Grim Jim says insignificant. And then Eric brings up, depends on how many primetime games that the Titans get. General Nealon says dumpster juice. Jay says as long as Tannenbaum is at quarterback, it's up in the air.
Tannenbaum.
Tannenbaum. I mean, I've seen that. It's such low-hanging fruit. Tighten Up says weak. Marvin says, I don't give a darn how the NFL views the Titans. That's fine. Deshaun says, I like they do every year. They think the Titans stink. Bork says as the ugly stepchild. And always and eternally underrated there from Melendez. Zach, I mean, I think those answers across the board is kind of what we expected. Ignored Trez says big victim mentality out here from Titans fans. But again, like that's also not.
But I don't
not
disagree. Do you disagree with any of them?
With the comments? I don't know. Not necessarily, just because that's what the Titans are.
Yeah. So you can't be like, you can't pull the victim card when actually it's the truth. Like, it is cold hard facts, homie, right? Like, so I don't criticize, like, I don't think that they're playing the victim card. I just think it's the truth. Now, here's the difference. The times they can change. Let's go through an exercise. How do you think that the NFL views the Jags today?
As a little bit of fresh energy,
right? Versus let's say 3 years ago, how do you think they viewed the Jags?
Like their puke colored color rush jerseys that they had back in 2017.
How do you think that the NFL viewed the Carolina Panthers 6 weeks ago?
Before they traded up for number one, somewhat irrelevant. Yeah.
What do you think about what do you think they think about them now?
Opportunity down the road.
Right? So you can change. Why? Trevor Lawrence and Bryce Young. Let's just call it what it is. Tannenbaum, as one of the guys said, Tannehill is the reason why the Titans are viewed this way. And I will answer I will answer the question very particular, because I will put them in a group of teams. And this is going to be harsh, but it's the cold hard facts. The Titans, in the eyes of the NFL, are in the same bucket currently as the Arizona Cardinals, the Washington Commanders, the Atlanta Falcons, and I even would say currently the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs got Tom Brady, and now they're back to being the Bucs. The Josh Freeman, Jeff Garcia, Brian Greasy led Jameis Winston, and even that led Bucs. That's just what they are. But a cerebral quarterback can change all of that and how the NFL views you. Right now, unfortunately, I think that the Titans are in the bottom 5 of the league in the eyes of the NFL, and that will be shown next year, because you don't have to have a primetime game on Thursday night anymore.
No,
so you could go the entire season without a primetime game. The Arizona Cardinals may do that, because they're not going to wait around and put the Arizona Cardinals in prime time when Kyler Murray comes back, because the Arizona Cardinals will probably be one of the worst teams in the league.
Sure.
The Titans may be in that same bucket because Will Levis is not their starting quarterback currently. So bottom 5 is my answer.
Bottom 5 on like moving the needle
in the eyes of the NFL right now. And that's tough. There's 32 effing teams.
Again, like I think multiple times, Zach, throughout the show, you've mentioned that, we are too close to the situation to a lot of times to really get the temperature of this conversation. But, the Titans are still only like a 23, 25-year-old franchise and brand. It's still a very young brand in the league when you look at the big brands across the NFL. Like, you've got generations and generations of Packers, Steelers, Cowboys, and, beyond, Eagles, right? Like, Eagles fans and that fan base is a part of their families' lives, right? From grandfathers and great-grandfathers, from all that stuff. Like, we are just now I was 9 years old when the Tennessee Titans became the Titans from the Oilers. I don't have any human kids yet. So I don't even have the opportunity to create my childhood to a human kid yet, right? So my generation is not even completely full to pass that down. And my parents and our parents in my generation, they've already got their allegiances. They've already got the San Francisco 49ers or the Pittsburgh Steelers that were on TV, AFC, NFC with the Cowboys and Packers for every week. And so that's why the Titans don't have the moving the needle situation. And so there are brands like the Titans, like the Panthers, like the Bucs, that have to have a transcendent player to be on the map. And the Titans have had those in moments. Steve McNair a little bit. They had a brief moment, gust of wind with Vince Young. And then you can kind of put the trio of Tannehill, AJ, and Henry in that, but it was during the COVID year, right? And so you got to have Cam Newton if you're the Panthers to move the needle. Like even when they had Jake Delhomme, and we looked this up like 2 weeks ago, the Carolina Panthers have made 4 or 5 NFC Championship games, and Jake Delhomme did it a couple of times, but he's Jake Delhomme. Nobody cared. And so it takes that transcendent player for those type of brands to be elevated, and the Titans are in that bucket.
And they've whiffed, right? Like after Steve McNair, they whiffed. I got to give them credit for trying. They drafted guys. They drafted the wrong guys.
They took several shots.
That's what the draft is, right? But Jake Locker, Vince Young, Marcus Mariota were all whiffs.
And now Will Levis is kind of the fourth attempt.
Yeah, because Ryan Tannehill and Tress said it. Let's see. Tress, look, Tannehill is one of the most efficient quarterbacks by stats, but nobody likes him because he feels like a tier 2 quarterback. Bingo. There's the love of the show because it's correct. Tannehill feels like a tier 2 quarterback. What Jake Delhomme went to the Super Bowl, went to multiple NFC Championship games. He feels like a tier 2 quarterback. It just does. And the Titans, so Will Levis is their saving grace. If Will Levis has to hit, or they're going to be in the same spot that they've been in for the next 5 years.
Yeah, and M-Boy says Austin's a hater. And then I see coming in here, Tanya says, here's A to Z up early talking about how much the Titans suck. Y'all are the worst. Why would a great player come here? Look, A to Z Sports has zero impact on great players coming to the Titans or the Titans going and signing great players. And no, we're not hating. We are.
These are facts.
Yeah.
They're like, let's talk shop. All right. Give me a good, tell us why we're wrong. There is no, this is not like negative. Oh, we hate the Titans. Titans are awful. These are straight facts. So Tanya, let's go with some visible evidence in the comments. I'm asking you, this is an exercise. I'm asking you, what do you think that the NFL views the Titans based on their short history, as Austin put together? But tell us something that we're not factually saying. I don't get it. Y'all are the worst. That's just what it is. The Titans haven't been very good. The Titans had a terrible stretch after McNair, right? They had 1 year in 2008, and they wet the bed against the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional championship game. I was at that game. I remember
you could say they rolled their ankle against the Ravens.
A lot of people in the chat were at that game, right? But that was 2008. After that, they went through Vince Young and Jake Locker. Bad. Jake Locker didn't sniff the playoffs. Vince Young got there once and lost. So, then after that, you had Marcus Mariota, had a weird run where they beat the Kansas City Chiefs and then lost, got blown out by the New England Patriots. That could have been, you could categorize that as an anomaly. Mike Vrabel, I will give credit, elevated the franchise. Wouldn't you say that Mike Vrabel has elevated the franchise?
Without a doubt.
But in this league, a head coach cannot elevate a franchise like a superstar franchise quarterback. These are truths. This is not false. So the Titans, to get into, I just went through the exercise, Tanya. What does the NFL view about the Panthers and the Jags? The Panthers and the Jags are the closest thing to the Titans, 1995 versus 1999, right? So to that degree. If you get Bryce Young or Trevor Lawrence, they'll view you different. I'm not going to be on the show tomorrow, Austin. Who do you think will have more primetime games, the Jags or the Titans next year?
The Jags will.
Who do you think will have more primetime games, the Titans or the Carolina Panthers?
I mean, if I were going to bet, I'd probably say the Panthers, but I don't think it's like either going to have a bunch.
Right? So But I think the point is that we are talking about how the NFL views the Titans based on their history. We're not saying Austin hates the Titans or Zach can't stand the sight of two-tone blue. Look, I was a part of NFL Yes when it came. We both grew up here. These are childhood teams. I've seen every Titans game ever played. I went to the first game against Cincinnati. Like, I've seen every game. So, like, there's no hatred. We're just talking about what the NFL views them as.
Well,
and I don't think we're wrong.
And I think I'm going to get to this in a second. The Titans' problem overall and why they have not consistently elevated themselves out of the tier of brands that they're in. You know, the NFL international schedule shows us exactly what we're talking about with the Titans. And I'll get to that in here in a second. But Zach, tell us all about a great brand, a local brand for 75 plus years, Farm Bureau Health Plans.
Yeah, FBHP.com is where to go. These are straight facts, 200 plus locations, health, dental, vision. Your perfect plan is right around the corner. All you have to do is get a health assessment, then get a quote. Once you get a quote like I did, I realized, wow, man, my plan is a lot better that has just been presented to me than it was previously. That's why I did Farm Bureau Health Plans. I endorse Farm Bureau Health Plans because I use Farm Bureau Health Plans, and I've used them. You don't want to use your health plan, but sometimes you have to. If you get sick, you get a teledoc conference. I got into a Lyft accident, car accident, which is not my fault, in St. Louis. I had to go to the urgent care because I got whiplash. Well, I was able to do that, and I didn't think twice about it because I had Farm Bureau Health Plans. Health, dental, and vision, 200 plus locations. That's fbhp.com/A to Z.
With BetMGM and A to Z Sports, you can win big with your first bet offer. Use bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up with a BetMGM app. You make your first deposit, and you can get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets on your first bet if you sign up with our code ATOZ Sports. So visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older, Tennessee only new customer offer. All promotions subject to qualification and other requirements. First online real money wager only. Rewards issued to non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days. And for problem game support, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. Zach, you're laughing. So
I want to get to a couple of comments
Yeah.
because I am curious to see what you're going to say. Hilarious. The NFL looks at the Titans like Meg off Family Guy. God, that's great. I've already given out the love of the show, but you're sitting next in line. And then I think Jimbo brings up a good point. He said he didn't care earlier about our earlier question. I think this is good. Below average scoring, I think stylistically also hurts the Titans because run first in new era football. The reason why a superstar quarterback, they throw the football. The Titans have been hitching their wagon to low, grinded out fourth quarter games. Let's win in the trenches. Physical, smart, tough. We hear all these words. You know what the NFL plays at? High velocity, speed, spectacular catches, unbelievable throws, great scrambles for first downs, diving over the pylon for 6 points. That's not the Titans' style.
No, and you brought in Mike Vrabel has elevated the Titans brand, right? Because of his name recognition and where he won 3 Super Bowls, the New England Patriots. And Mike Vrabel has done that. But here's the problem. Mike Vrabel's goal is to win football games. And up until, Thanksgiving week last year, he was winning a lot more football games than they lost. And they lost 7 in a row because of a bunch of different reasons. But Mike Vrabel wins games, and he doesn't care how he wins it. Mike Vrabel's goal is to not throw for 300 yards and have a 40 touchdown pass quarterback in a season. His goal is to make the playoffs and to win a football game with defense and running the football and controlling the clock and the turnover battle. But that's not what the NFL wants and what the NFL sells. And so the Titans have won a lot of games and have been very successful, but they've done it in the most grinded out, ugly 1980s, 1990s type of way that the NFL is not promoting.
Let's put 2 and 2 together. How have the Patriots won games since Tom Brady left?
With their defense?
The exact same way the Titans have.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have Derrick Henry, but it may just be a philosophy. Bill Belichick benefited off of Tom Brady. We all know that. Tom Brady benefited off of Bill Belichick. But when you don't have Tom Brady, like Mike Vrabel and Bill Belichick don't have, I think they revert back to what you just said. And
yes,
that doesn't win you Super Bowls in today's age.
And so let's look at the international calendar, the international schedule, Zach, right? So you've got the Jags have to go to London. That's just in the deal that they played. Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Chiefs. Throw the ball, 80 yards, touchdowns. And then Colts, Patriots. The Colts and Patriots are probably going to suck this year with quarterbacks that are either Anthony Richardson or Mac Jones that doesn't excite anybody. But guess what? The Colts and the Patriots are a legitimate brand. The Colts and the Patriots are a matchup that the NFL can go sell to Germany and say, these two teams get eyeballs regardless of the quarterback currently because of the quarterbacks of the past.
Yeah.
And they had that success and they established their brand. The Tennessee Titans have not established their brand. The two teams on here, the Titans and the Falcons, those teams are, it's your turn to go overseas. That's the draw. It's that the Falcons and the Titans, it's been a few years. Now you guys can go. The other teams, Ravens, MVP quarterback. Josh Allen with the Bills, MVP candidate. The Chiefs, Super Bowl champs. The Dolphins have the former Chief wide receiver and can run faster than the USA track team, especially the London track team. But now they're going overseas and having fireworks of football to expand that brand. And the Titans don't have that because of the style that they want to play, because they know that's how they can win right now.
We're going to move on to Shade. I got to do this because I'm going to be off for some time. I think the Titans are only going to get one primetime game. That's my prediction. My bold prediction for the schedule release, I think they're only going to get one. And I thought that, to be honest. And I hate that this is like one of my favorite days.
Yeah.
The day after the schedule. And I think I've missed it the last 2 years, but that is what it is. But I think, and I thought that before even the Ravens was scheduled in London. I think that the NFL are only going to give the Titans one primetime game.
What I'm curious about.
And it's not going to be on Sunday night.
No. What I'm curious, and that's kind of where I was going to go. Sunday night is clearly primo primetime number one, right? How does the NFL now rank Thursday night versus Monday night? I'm curious to find that out.
Well, here's my philosophy. Again, you'll have time to talk about this with Sam tomorrow.
Yeah.
The NFL had a terrible Thursday night schedule this past season. So what did the NFL do? They changed it. Now you're not required to have a Thursday night game like you had in years past. So now the NFL is saying Thursday night we got to improve. So we're not going to put the Titans on Thursday night like they would have Titans Jag for all of those years. So I'm kind of going with a little bit of an educated guess based on what their actions are. I think it's one.
Interesting. All right, we'll see what happens. And tomorrow morning, Sam and I are going to predict, and then Friday morning we'll have the results and we'll talk through the Titans schedule. Buck Rising, we'll do it Thursday night right after the schedule comes out.
Unless Johnny says, right, something that happened last year. The Titans-Jags was a Saturday night primetime game. So
I'll say this. The one thing college football does better than the NFL is schedule their season 2 weeks in advance. And it's easier because they got less teams to deal with in conference play. But they're allowing that to happen allows for college football to have the best slate on Saturdays and set it up how they want to beneficially. So, look, tons of schedule talk to wrap up this week, Thursday and Friday with me and Sam.
Chaz is right. The Titans showed out against the Packers. Like, that was live in prime time on Thursday Night Football.
Right.
But what did they do after that?
Like, they had a party.
They've just
on the plane.
The Titans have a lot to prove.
No doubt. All right, Zach, time for shade. Get your shade ready. You can throw shade at Zach and I if you think we're just dumping on the Titans all morning. But first, I'm going to tell you guys about the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org. Today, 12:30 Central, we're talking to Dr. Looney, who is a knee specialist with the Bone and Joint Institute, and asking him, how can the Titans draft Tajay Spears in the third round, a running back with arthritis in his knee and 2 ACL tears? So I am fascinated to get to this doc talk because of all the different nuances and the reports about Tyjae Spears. And the Bone and Joint Institute has the experts to help us learn what can we expect from Titans rookie Tyjae Spears with all of his knee injuries over his career. So that's coming up at 12:30 p.m. Central on Facebook, on YouTube. So get ready for that. The Bone and Joint Institute, they can take care of you whenever that unfortunate injury becomes inconvenient for your life. Check them out right there in Franklin, boneandjointtn.org.
A to Z Sports, we are powered by BetMGM. Download the app today. You can get in on some action. You got NBA basketball. Can the Lake Show close out to get to the Western Conference Finals with Anthony, not in street clothes, Davis, and LeBron, Lonnie Walker, the fourth? I mean, there's a lot of storylines going on in the NBA. You can bet on all of that action. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports. They are the king of the sport.
Lonnie Walker, current day Smush Parker, Zach, in a way.
I need more from Lonnie.
You always needed more from Smush too, but you couldn't get it consistently.
Yeah. Well, don't count out Lonnie just yet.
All right, Zach, throwing shade here on the show. Always get your shade in here. Hey, welcome back, Jeff. Jeff came back from across the pond as soon as we talk about the Titans going across the pond. So Big Ten Jeff, I'm glad your travel went well to and fro from your trip over to Italy and wherever else you went. So Zach, I'll let you start off with the comments in the shade.
I won't show it, but Trevor brings up Robert De Niro having a child at age 79. Is his seventh kid. He's throwing shade. That's an old guy to have a child at 79. So there's that. Chaz throws shade on us. Look, we don't run away from this. Saying, Chad, for y'all dumping on this squad and referring it to it as a wash in 2022. I don't think it's a wash. I just think that it's going to be difficult for the Titans to compete with the likes of the Bengals, the Bills, the Chiefs, and maybe the Jags. And I'm curious to see what Will Levis's development is. My hope, and this is where I'm in on Will Levis, I love the fact that Will Levis will be able to be developed this year. I think that that's a huge opportunity to give Titans fans hope. So that's my hope deep inside. Big Ten Jeff also says shade on Pro Football Focus, ranking Tommy Rees as a top 10 offensive coordinator in college football. Let's see.
That's going to be an interesting storyline in the season for sure.
I'm going to circle back to this one. Zach says throwing shade on people who don't read your ad on Facebook Marketplace. Went to sell something yesterday, and the dude clearly didn't read the post. That's always tough. Let's see. Jacob says shade for being having an achy back. That's not fun. Ian says shade on A to Z in a fun way. Austin knows I've given countless reason to make Austin and Zach in London, but he hasn't budged. We'll find out who goes to London as that thing closes near this season.
Zach, I'll say this. Yesterday, Sam in the chat started the campaign for Sam's lunch money for London. So that has begun.
I think it's smart. I can't knock on Sam for that. That's a good sales pitch. Shade on somebody who cried and threatened to quit if they didn't have my job. Now they have my job and got pushed down the totem pole. Mega shade. Dang, Richard. What? That is tough. That's politics in the office place. Let's say. Devin says, shade at everyone who wakes up and turns every topic y'all come up with into Tannehill conversation. I can't wait till he's cut and they're forced to have an original thought. That's pretty funny. Jacob found a rat at 2 a.m. last night in his apartment. There's major shade there. Bork says shade on the Suns owner for influencing the game by holding the ball and flopping on Jokic. That was kind of funny. And then the follow-up to that, Jody says shade on the new mortgage rule. And Tress says shade at people who stop at a yield. I'm going to go back up to a shade that I saw. Let's see. That kind of has something to do with I've got mixed shade today. And let's see here. Shade on Man, I can't find it anymore. I should have started, and I didn't. Do you have your shade? I'll have to go back.
Yes, I have my shade. My shade is on. I got a little greedy last night, Zach. I won big with Tyree Maxey's points in the Sixers Celtics game. I felt like it was going to be a night where James Harden got suffocated and Tyree Maxey or somebody else could step up for the Sixers, and I was right. So I won big there, but then I then I took all my profits from that and put it on Jokic over 29.5. And Nikola Jokic got to 29 points with 4 minutes and 26 seconds left, and then
they pulled everybody.
And then they pulled everybody, and all I needed was a damn free throw. And so look, I came out of BetMGM flat even for the night, but just the high and then the low. I thought I had it. Jokic triple double. I was like, oh my gosh, we got it. And Jimbo, you're right, buddy. That hook got me right there.
Yeah, I almost got hooked. So my parlay was Jokic 25 plus points, Michael Porter Jr. over 4.5 rebounds. He had like 8, and Kevin Durant over 25 points. He had 24 right before they yanked everybody. He got fouled.
Free throw. Yeah. Jokic fouled him. Jokic fouled him to give him the free throws, and that got Jokic out the damn game.
Complete luck right there.
Yeah, and I was watching it on my phone, and I'm sitting there like it's like 11:30 at night. And I'm like, come on, dude, just give me one more
sleep.
And then I get the update: Jokic checks out of the game for whoever the hell. Ah, crap. All right, that's my shade though.
So that's good shade. Here's my mixed shade. Steven says shade on commitment. Anyone getting married would have to be crazy, which is funny because it kind of goes into the shade of I'm getting married on Saturday, and the ups and downs of like when you get engaged to when you get married is like with like planning and like stress and like where's everything going to be and all of this organization. Texting buddies like, one guy RSVP'd yesterday and the hotel block's already full. So I got to deal with all that stuff. And it's like the shade on that. Now, here's the good shade. No longer will I have to say the word fiance anymore. That is great shade that will be off of my shoulders. But Stephen King's comment kind of got me to that point. So moving on from this shade and into another stage of life, but I'm glad I'm gonna have to put the fiance line away because I never enjoyed telling people that.
Nah, it's a terrible word. It's just a terrible word. It makes you feel like you have to stick your pinky out when you say it. But absolutely. So Zach, you'll be out for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I will be out. Be out in the next couple of days. Get married on Saturday, then go to Costa Rica for a week, and that's gonna be fun. And then come back and the summer starts and we got to get back to the grind. So, but it will be nice. I will be recharged because, my mindset is work. I don't know how I'm not going to work on my honeymoon. I'm going to figure that out, but I'll be recharged and ready to go with a good mindset when we get back. But I am looking forward to taking some time off and spending it with my current fiance.
5.5, Zach. 5.5 is my over under pounds gained in a week span. So
I've lost about 7 leading up to the wedding, just of like, whatever. But yeah, you eat, you don't do anything else, right? Well, here's where I think you're wrong. It's an active honeymoon. That's the kind of relationship we have.
Doesn't matter.
Zip lining.
Yep.
Whitewater rafting.
Yep.
Deep sea fishing.
Okay.
So all of those things I feel like active where I could cut some of the, the big ass breakfasts that you eat in the morning, every morning.
I will tell you, it don't matter. It's going to find you. I'm going over 5.5.
All right. Well, now I'm curious. I'll weigh in and we'll see what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, Zach, safe trip. And we will see you back here in a little bit later on this month. But Sam and I will have a ton of great content as the schedule comes out tomorrow night. And we'll preview it. We'll see how many games we think the Titans will have in primetime. We'll talk about all the other questions that we have, how the Titans could be a victim of a new schedule rule coming up tomorrow morning as well. And then full reaction Friday morning on the schedule moving into, hey, rookie minicamp is on Saturday too for the Titans. So make sure you give us a like on the show, hit that thumbs up button and like it before you go because that helps us out tremendously. There are more people watching right now that have liked that button. So hit that button right there and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning on Thursday. Appreciate it as always.